it's dark. Hey, kia ora, Helen, Brahms here, coming to you live from Escondido. Yes, the view is a little different. I'm sitting in my stairwell with the door open, trying to catch a cool breeze. It is a very cool 90-something degrees here in Escondido right now. It did get up to 103 at one point. The inside of my RV was a very cool 90 degrees. For those of you back in New Zealand, that's somewhere over 30, close to 40, or mid 30s. Somewhere around there. It's well over 30 anyway. I had the AC on, but it seemed to be heating up the RV rather than cooling it down. So I went out for a drive, picked up my mail, came back, and outside was cooler than inside the RV. So I've got the expeller fans going like crazy. I've got all the windows open, the door open, and I'm sitting here catching this gorgeous breeze. So I'm going to turn this around so you can see my view out from this is my view from my doorway. These people left today, which is kind of good because they had kids that would run up and down the RV, very noisy. It's amazing how much noise kids can transmute. And this is the park over the back here. Really cool place to go for a walk around. And then this is just down the side. And then if I turn it around, no idea, you can see inside the RV. So I'm sitting in the stairwell here, catching the breeze, which is rather nice. Got the awning up, so I get in the shade. And this is on the shady side of the RV as well. But anyway, so my question today is for everybody. I have a question for you. So, and I've totally forgotten where I put my list. So my question is, we are going to, in August, I'm doing a massive 4-week road trip with my parents. My parents are coming over from New Zealand and we are going to be getting in sparkles and going on this 4-week adventure. So we are looking for those unique places to visit. We are going to be, and we've already got the itinerary set out. We're just working on what is there that is available to see and do in those areas. So we are going to be starting from San Diego. We're going to be spending a night in Vegas, and we really don't care about the casinos or anything. It's just a stop along the way, because we're then going to Arches National Park, and we're going to be spending 2 nights in that area. And while we're there, we're also going to do Canyonlands as well, since they're right next door to each other. And I know that July and August are the 2 hottest months to be visiting that area. And so unfortunately, we're going to be visiting very hot months. So I think it's just going to be put the AC on if it's working. It should be working by then. And just basically driving through Arches and Canyonlands. Then we're going to go to Salt Lake City for a night. And then we're up to Boise, Idaho, where my dad has some cousins. So we're hoping to catch up with them. And then we are on to Washington State. We're going to be staying in a little tiny place called Plymouth, which is just across the Columbia River from Oregon. And we're looking at staying in Tacoma and then taking the ferry across to Seattle, or catching the transport down into downtown Seattle. I want to do Pike's Place, and that shop that Casey told me about. Can't remember what it's called, but it's right there by Pike's Place at the waterfront where the ferry comes in. So it should be easy to find. Then from there, we're heading up to Vancouver for a few days. So we've got like 3 or 4 days in Seattle. Then we're going up to Vancouver for 3 or 4 days. I know my dad wants to do Victoria and Brashart Gardens, and they want to do the suspension bridge up there. And then I'm not sure what we're going to do whilst we're up there. Then we head back down through Portland, Oregon for a couple of nights. Then to Medford for a night. Then down to San Francisco for 3 nights. Yosemite National Park for 2 nights, Sequoia National Park for 2 nights, Solvang for a night, and then into LA. So that is our trip, where we're going. So if you are from those areas or have visited those areas, we're talking Nevada and Utah and Idaho and Washington, British Columbia, Oregon, and Northern California. So in any of those areas, if you know of places to visit and things to see and do in those areas, I would greatly appreciate some recommendations. So we're investigating what there is to see and do in those areas, but we haven't come up with a lot so far, because my parents say, well, this is what we want to see when we're here and here. What else is there to see? And I'm like, I don't know. I know about as much as you do. So apart from the fact that I have been to Vancouver a couple of times, and I know Brashart Gardens, I've always wanted to see those. I haven't made it there yet. Even when we were in Victoria on the cruise ship, I didn't get off and go in. It was too late in the day to go in on that cruise last year. And I haven't had a chance to do the suspension bridge. Every time I've gone to do the suspension bridge when I've been in Vancouver, it's been low cloud, which meant that I would have been walking the suspension bridge in cloud, and I'd rather have a nice clear day for that. Although I guess I wouldn't mind the clouds so much, but I enjoy looking out at the scenery as well when I'm on bridges and stuff. It gives me somewhere to focus rather than looking down. So I want something up here that I can focus on, because if it's white and cloudy, tend to go and I want to look down here, which is not good when you're on heights. So we may do the hop on hop off bus for a day as well, play tourist. I know my parents love to walk, and I don't mind walking so much. I enjoy walking very much as well, so places to walk would be good too. Had a friend of mine, I was on the phone with her talking about a group that she's going to be doing next year, and she gave me some great recommendations. Was it Harry and David in Medford, I think it is, to go visit them. Then there was, total mind blank right now. I've got pages of notes written from stuff she was telling. Mind you, we were really talking about when she was in Pennsylvania, and we kind of transgressed across the country. So we're looking for places to visit around Vegas. We're going to be there for the night. Then we're Arches National Park and Canyonlands for 2 nights. Salt Lake City for a night. Boise, Idaho for 2 nights. Plymouth for a night. Tacoma, Seattle area for 4 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. It's either 3 or 4 nights. Can't remember if we get 3 full days or 4 full days there. Then we're in Vancouver for at least 3 full days, possibly 4. Then we're in Portland for 2 nights, Medford for a night, San Francisco for 3 nights, Yosemite for 2 nights, Sequoia for 2 nights, and Solvang for a night. So that's where we're going. Looking for suggestions of things to see and do while we're there. I know one thing I want to try and do when we're in San Francisco is do the open air fire engine. My dad many years ago used to be a fireman, and it's a trip that Brad and I got to do back in 2004? No, 2007. When did we do that trip? It's one only time I went to San Francisco with him. November 2004 we did that trip, and I checked, and it's still got the same people driving the open air fire engine, and it's really cool. It's a 1930s open air fire engine that leaves from the cannery, and you're gone for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and it takes you both ways across Golden Gate Bridge. You go down to Golden Gate Bridge Park, they drive around there, bring you back across Golden Gate. And the cool part is that when we got stuck in traffic, the guy who was driving it says, "My tour, we're doing what I want to see and do. I don't like being stuck in traffic. I'm sure you don't either. We're going to go this way." And we diverted and went around all the traffic and everything. But this couple actually lives in an old firehouse, and downstairs they've converted it into a museum for a firefighter's museum. They've converted that into that, and they live in the upstairs area. So really cool couple, and I've always wanted to take my dad on that 1930s open air fire engine, so hoping to get to do that so that's on the list to do when we go to San Francisco. So whoops, that was some bug that just collided with my phone. So if you know of other things that are around those areas, that would be good. I know my mum, they want to go see the temple in Salt Lake City. Let's see what else was on the list. Brashart Garden, I think that was about it. We're still exploring. We're reading the books. And so that is my request, is if you have any thoughts about where to visit in those places that I mentioned, we would greatly appreciate it. We would greatly love to hear your thoughts and ideas, things to see and do, even restaurants, great restaurants to go to. I've got a couple of really good restaurants to go to, and I got told if we're going, where was it? If we're going, where was that town? It's in my notes. But if we're going to a certain town, which I believe we are going to, then you go to Brock's. Is it Brock's or Bricks? Because they're known for their burgers. Even though they've got other really good food, they're known for their burgers. And they have really good burgers. My friend was telling me that the best burgers that she's ever had. So I'm sort of like, I love burgers. It's meat. I love meat. So we'll definitely be trying that one out. So looking for thoughts, looking for ideas, private message me, stick them in the comments below. Actually, if you put them in the comments below, then we can share them with everybody if they're going to those areas. So looking for great places for food, great places for experiences, things to see and do. And that's my